For this week's interactive assessment, I went to the Similar Minds website to take the Maslow inventory test and to the open source Psychometrics project website to take Cattell's 16 personality factors test. And I'm going to start by talking about my results with the Maslow's test, where I got a 27% score on physiological needs, 57% on safety needs, 40% on love needs, 54% on esteem needs, and 40% in self-actualization needs. And based on what I'm reading from this test, I took two and purposely bombed the second one so I could get a good idea of what exactly the test scoring mechanism is. These lower scores are actually a good thing from what I'm seeing in this test. Like my physiological needs, I have everything I need to survive physically, and I have an adequate, safe environment. My love needs, I am somewhat content with the quality of my social connections. My esteem, I have a medium level of skill competence, and I have an average level of independent individual or self-actualization development. On the whole, I would agree with pretty much everything that this test has said. I mean, I would say that I probably am more than somewhat content with the quality of my social connections. I have a lot of social connections, both at LeTourneau and back at my home, and I'm very happy with all of them. It's just I think there's always room for improvement, and I like hanging out with a lot of people. So I'm always willing to expand my social circle if it means I get to talk to more and more people. I really enjoy that. So I would say I'm more than just somewhat content. I just would like to improve it more. Physiological and safety needs, I feel very safe where I am, and I am very well provided for. God has blessed my family and me with more than I could ever imagine in all of these areas, and every need that we have is provided for by His grace. I would say my esteem needs are probably some of the lower ones, and self-esteem has been something that I do struggle with a little bit. Especially in terms of some of my skill capabilities. And I know that this is a problem for me because I struggle with sort of looking down on myself, especially comparing myself to guys who are more athletic or people who are smarter than I am. And scripture that came to mind for me here was Genesis 1:27, where God creates mankind in His own image. It's really important for me to try and realize that no matter how I feel about myself, I have to remember that I'm created in the image of God. And the same goes for everyone. We may feel down about ourselves, but at the end of the day, we're created in God's image, and we don't have the right to look down on ourselves. So, moving on from this, this is the Cattell 16 PF test, and there are a lot of factors on here. They're scored from 0 to 4. Warmth, reasoning, emotional stability, dominance, liveliness, rule conscientiousness, social boldness, sensitivity, vigilance, abstractedness, apprehension, openness to change, self-reliance, perfectionism, and tension. This is, like I said, scored from 0 to 4, and pretty much all of my scores here were in either anywhere from 2.4 to 2.9. So leaning on the side of pretty fulfilled. On the whole, my warmth scores were 2.9 out of 4, which is pretty much 3 out of 4. I would say that that's pretty accurate. My reasoning is 2.5 out of 4, which is good at abstract thinking, and I'm decent at abstract thinking. On the whole, I really agree with pretty much everything that this test says. Vigilance, my vigilance score is 2.3. Low scores are trusting, unsuspecting, accepting, and unconditionally easy. High scores are suspicious. This is about middle of the road, which is about where I fit. I tend to approach most people with a higher level of vigilance. In the early stages of any relationship, I become not very vigilant and tend to trust people. But the more and more that a relationship goes on, I tend to either continue in that pattern if that is the way that it should be, or I end up becoming a little more guarded. My rule conscientiousness is, which is how much I abide by authority, is 2.8. In all honesty, I believe that it should probably be a little higher because I've always been sort of about the status quo and following the rules. I'm more of a rule follower than a rule breaker. Um, Overall, the lowest score that I received on this test was a 2 exactly, which is tension. Tension is how driven you are, crossed with impatience. Low scores are relaxed, placid, tranquil, patient, and have a composed low drive. High scores are tense, high energy, overwrought, and time driven. Um, I would say to some degree I am a bit of a lower scorer because I can be a bit of a procrastinator. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, and that's something that I need to work on. My work ethic. I'm a representation of Christ where I am, and I'm not a very good representation if I have a poor work ethic. Overall, these tests were both a lot of fun to take, and I really enjoyed it.